All right, we're going to do a drop fill with the Zap Glue CA on the surface of this guitar here. And I'll get to the blade in a minute. We got our thin CA. That's good to use. It's going to really run into any small cracks in the ding. If there's a crack in the finish, it's gonna wick in there, and that's kind of what we want. It's going to stabilize the area if it needs it.
So, like, if there's any micro cracks back and forth somewhere,
there are. There's one. Okay. So the finish actually broke. It didn't just dent.
Yeah.
So what we have here is the thin
with the flexi tip on it.
With the flexi tip. A new tip is good for this procedure. You can see this is pretty touchy stuff here. You don't want to miss. And we're going to leave that. We're going to let that drop right about that way. And that's beautiful.
And then are you allowing the glue to bubble up a little bit?
Yes, okay. I am. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to let it bubble up, proud of the original surface.
Okay. And then with the glue being so thin, it's wicking way down.
It really is. And I can spread it in now without distributing more.
And you're just using a normal everyday toothpick for this?
Normal everyday toothpick, yeah.
Okay.
So that's a really good application right there. So now the glue is proud of the surface, as you said. Mm-hmm. And now I could wait around, or I could give it a little
kick.
Give it a little kick right here.
Yeah. So that's our zip kicker, which is it's a heptane-based product. We offer that in the pump or an aerosol.
Yeah. And so we'll give that just a hit.
And then it's cured right now. It's done.
There we go.
Now, does it cure only on the top, or does it cure all the way through from that one kick?
It's all the way through.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a chemical thing, yeah.
Yeah, it chain reacts, it chain
So now
cures.
we're ready to go. Okay, so we've got that well kicked.
And then we should probably take a look. Now, you had a lot of overspray, right? And then you wiped it off with just a tissue. Yeah. But if you look, the finish, can you mind if I pick this up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The finish isn't harmed at all. So that's the nice thing about that kicker with that heptane base. It doesn't mar the additional finish on the guitar.
Yeah.
Keep going with that.
All right. So now we've prepped a razor blade here. We've got one piece of Scotch tape on the left and one on the other side here. Guess that'd be the right to you. All right. So we've got about a micron, we got a little gap in the middle of the tape there where there's some raw blade. So now I can take that blade and I'm going to place it so the gap's lining up with my fill. I'm not going to scratch the finish on either side. And and this is why I made it proud. Mm-hmm. We can bring it down.
Mm-hmm. And you just keep working it back and forth until there's no more scratch anymore.
Letting that blade do the work. And I clean it off because sometimes the powder might creep under the tape on each side and that'll mess up your procedure.
And a little safety thing, make sure when you clean that off, you wipe it the correct way. Otherwise, you're getting some Band-Aids, huh?
Yes, indeed, yeah.
You can hear it. It's
changed tone.
It's changing tone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess since we are talking about musical instruments, we should talk about tone a little bit.
Indeed,
right?
Man. I love the sound of a good repair. All right. So there we have step number 2 of a drop fill. And step number 3, I'm going to start with 2000 grit sandpaper on a nice little block.
That's just a wood block that you made yourself?
Yeah, right? Yes, sir. And what I'll do to prevent this paper from clogging with finish, because inevitably I'm going to be sanding a little bit of finish. 'cause I'm gonna be blending these two things together.
Correct.
I've got some kerosene on the sandpaper, lubricant. It's not going to fill the paper now.
Right.
And we're going to take that. And JT, if you come over here, I don't know if you can see the reflection of that. See that line between the glue and the finish? Mm-hmm. It's pretty fine stuff. I don't know if you're getting that or not. Mm-hmm. Try from over here. That's where I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. See that line? Mm-hmm. So that's about that line, that ridge, right there. Yeah, you got it. There you go. That's it, buddy. That ridge is about as thick as a piece of Scotch tape.
Right.
So now we got our 2000 grit. And if you do this without kerosene, I'd have to change my paper about right now.
Okay.
All right, it's just going to fill it. And then you just...
So what is the kerosene doing? Is it breaking down the...
It's not a solvent. It's just, it's thin. And, I don't know how it's doing it, frankly, but it's preventing
the buildup. Yeah.
the buildup. It's just carrying the particles.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like, it's the medium in which they reside, not the sandpaper anymore, right? But the kerosene, right? They're floaters. Give myself a little look at what we're doing here. Getting pretty close. Give me a fresh side here. And it really, it's a wonderful thing with the Zap is that it's probably harder than the nitrocellulose when it's cured. Not sure about that, but it's clearly adequately hard. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty darn good right there. So that's a 2000 grit. I'm going to do one more with 3. We're actually almost done.
And the whole point of this is just to take down that gap that you had between the Scotch tape on your razor blade.
Yes.
And then start to blend the finish together.
You know how long I'd be here if I didn't scrape it with the blade, right?
Yeah, right.
Because that Zap is hard stuff.
Oh, yes.
And I'd probably have to start with a much rougher grit, and then I'd be sanded for 2 hours.
Yeah, and you would be marring
Well,
some of these finishes.
that's why. Because every time you change grit, you got to go bigger.
Yeah. To blend it out.
You got to blend it out. Which is actually what I'm doing with this 3000. You see, I'm going wider here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we got one more thing to do here. Be sure to clean off all the particles. Mm-hmm. And auto polish.
Oh.
the finest auto polish available in terms of grit. It's probably anything you say high gloss swirl remover.
Okay.
That would be our little dab on the Zap. And with this particular fill here, my last step would be probably maybe the buffing wheel. We'll see if I need to do that, and I might not do that because of all this jazz right here. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to need to buff that at all. There you go.
Boom. So if you want, why don't you get that angle again? See if you can. You actually can't. There is no.
There's a little spot right there that sometimes I would need to go through this procedure twice. But yeah, that's pretty darn
That's it.
good fill right there.
Yeah.
And that is a drop fill.
That's the drop fill right there.
Thin CA.
Thin CA
With a flexi tip.
with the flexi tip. And that's what we got right here. Yeah.
And the accelerator.
And the accelerator, which is wonderful. This one little short spray is all I need on that.
Perfect.
And and then 2,000 grit, 3,000 grit.
And some auto
Customized razor blade here. These sorts of things.
Little kerosene.
And that'll go for any ding on an instrument. And that they're inevitable, man. So this is a good procedure for. It's you could try this at home.
Yeah.
And just try it on your instrument, not anybody else's.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
You bet, man.